Well, the Biden administration is announcing 20 of the top internet providers have agreed to offer discounted plans to low-income households. Let's bring in Yahoo Finance contributor Kevin Cirilli as part of his weekly KC3. Kevin, good to talk to you today. Let's start with this plan. I mean, how many Americans are we talking about that could be affected?
This is going to be anywhere from 40% of qualifying Americans, or 48 million American households. And this is part, of course, of the Biden Build Back Better plan that the administration is really pushing out this week. It's for those who qualify, $30 per month toward internet servicers for eligible household. And there's, get this, 20 companies who have signed on to participate in this, including AT&T, Comcast, and Verizon. And together, when you actually add up all of the coverage zones, that's more than 80% of the U.S. population. So definitely a massive, massive step forward in terms of trying to close that digital divide.
The other story you're watching closely today, that $33 billion aid package specifically targeting Ukraine, still hasn't been passed. What's the very latest on that front?
So I think in terms, the next thing that I'm watching is Ukraine. And earlier today, Russia President Vladimir Putin spoke at his annual Victory Day speech. And so did Ukraine President Zelensky, who said, quote, that this is not a war of two armies, but a war of two world views. Meanwhile, President Biden is calling for $33 billion worth of additional funds in order to be allocated to support Ukraine. And NATO officials are back in D.C. this week, meeting with various administration officials as well as lawmakers on Capitol Hill. I spoke with one NATO official last night who told me that they are confident that the Congress will get that $33 billion worth of funding to President Biden's desk. President Biden, for his part, will be at the State Department on Friday for a series of meetings. So no doubt that support for Ukraine is still strong.
Yeah, no question. As we further drag into this war, President Biden also speaking at United Performance Metals recently, a metal manufacturer near Cincinnati. We know he's been talking a lot about more independence, less reliance on China. What's the latest on that front?
You know, this bill, the U.S. Innovation and Competitive Act, is now in conference, and it's a large conference. Dozens of Republicans and Democrats are on this in the Senate and in the House as they try to reconcile the legislation between the two chambers. But President Biden's frustration was palpable on Friday when he spoke in Cincinnati. He said, quote, pass the damn bill and send it to me. If we do, it's going to help bring down prices, bring home jobs, and power America's manufacturing comeback. This is all about that semiconductor chip shortage that he says he made the job case while he was in Ohio. And the two senators of Ohio, Senator Portman and Senator Brown, a Republican and Democrat respectively, have backed this bill. They feel it's going to create jobs, but it's also a national security component. And the administration, as well as supporters of this bill, argue that it would curtail some of the over-reliance on China on semiconductor chips. And that shortage has just really wreaked havoc on the U.S. economy and other economies, for that matter, worldwide.
Yeah, and we've already heard warnings from some CEOs who've said it's going to drag on a bit longer. Yahoo Finance contributor Kevin Cirilli, as always, thanks for joining us.